Welcome to Talk Talkers, everybody. It's a subject a lot of people are talking about and have been since yesterday when Washington Wizards center Jason Collins became the first openly gay active NBA basketball player. Matter of fact, the first openly gay active professional athlete in present times. Collins, the latest in a growing list of high-profile athletes as well as politicians and celebrities come out publicly. Article in the Sports Illustrated will explain it all, but the news was released just yesterday. Very interesting topic. Steve Lloyd's here, Alison's here from CFRA, and Lianne Laing joining our panel this morning. Morning, everybody. How are you?
Morning, morning.
So what did you think when this came out yesterday? Alison, first of all to you.
You know what? Thank goodness that he finally had the courage to come forward and to say how he really feels and who he really is. This is something that this Major League sports have been waiting for. It's, you know, I don't want to liken it to Jackie Robinson because he had a separate struggle when he was the first black player in baseball.
Right.
But this is another first for Major League sports, and he will go down in history as being the first person to finally have that courage in an industry that many people know could be homophobic and is known as being homophobic to come forward.
What do you make of the reaction to all this, Lianne? I mean, most of it has been
overwhelmingly positive. I do love the fact that it came in the first person, the article, that it wasn't an interview style, that it was actually him just telling his story, which I think allowed him to really express what was going on. You had President Clinton, you had Steve Nash, you had the Kobe Bryant, you had so many individuals really coming out and being positive about it. I had a real reaction. I know that we were just reading an article about one of the ESPN panelists, very conservative, very Christian, and then
well, claims to be Christian.
Claims to be Christian, and then completely demeaning and just really creating this controversy over it within his talk show. And I started to look at these comments and wonder how on earth was something like this on such a positive day that you knew that it would so quickly trickle into, you know, further discussion and arguments.
Steve, we've seen a lot of athletes come out after the fact, after they've retired, after their careers are over. It's the first time an active player has actually done this. But you can see the reasons why not to do it for so long.
Well, if you're an active player, you have to be realistic. If you're going to be a torchbearer in anything, you're going to be the first in anything, there's going to be a distraction. And when you're in a team environment, it's team first, me second. And I think that's what they struggle with. But, you know, what Jason Collins did, you know, just to pick up what Lianne was talking about, I'm really not surprised, unfortunately, that we got some of this backlash. You know, you knew it was going to come.
Yeah. Not from ESPN
What's what I mean?
Panelists. I mean, the type of people that were in the forum to be able to have that, I was so disappointed.
I'm not surprised because I do disagree with his stance, Chris Broussard, who came out.
He's going to take some heat for this.
Well, you know, and this is going to happen. You're going to see more of this. He's quoting the Bible, and he's going on what God says. And that is a dangerous road to go down, because if you want to start, okay, well, let's look what else is in the Bible.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in the Bible.
If you want to take everything that's verbatim, is it Bible a la carte for you?
Yeah, that's right. No, it's only the way he interprets it. Like so, am I right? It's the way he, as an individual, interprets it, and then, you know, he makes it work for himself. And it was disappointing to hear that. Do you think this opens the floodgates then? Because obviously, there are gay men playing professional sports in whatever sport you look at.
Well, hockey took the lead with, what, 3-4 weeks ago with You Can Play. And that's been around for a while with Brendan Burke and then the Burke family following through with that initiative, and they have a new one as of just a few weeks ago. So, of course there are in every sport. I don't know if the floodgates are open, but I think you're going to see maybe a trickling out, and more will come out. But I don't think we're going to next week and everybody's just, all right, well, it's open and we're coming out.
I think Jason Collins, what was really interesting about him and his article in Sports Illustrated is he says how much easier it is to come out as a gay man now than even 10 years ago.
He said he's glad it wasn't 2003.
Exactly. Yeah. And it makes sense, because you look at some of the high-profile politicians, like we mentioned, some high-profile actors, for example, Zachary Quinto, who plays Spock in Star Trek.
That's right.
Finally having the courage to come out and say who they are. And I think a lot of it comes back to these poor kids who were bullied into horrific things. Like you look at Councillor Alan Hubley's son, Jamie Hubley, who was a wonderful child who just couldn't take the bullying anymore. And you see these type of athletes and politicians standing up for them.
And you know.
Well, that's why Jason Collins came out. The study that was conducted last year, 43% of young black gay men have contemplated suicide. Yeah. And this is why he's doing this.
And I think, you know, looking back to saying he wouldn't want to have done it 10 years ago, I think 10 years into the future, I think that we will just see an influx of this, because there are so many kids right now who have just had this huge sense of relief in terms of looking at people that they're watching and playing in these, especially in these major top 4 sports, that they're saying, he can do it, I can do it. And I think it might not happen within the professional athletes right now, but it will definitely happen amongst some more of the youth, I think, to be able to have that role model, to be able to say it's out, and we can finally start to be able to have that dialogue.
I think the biggest difference is here for those of us, and you know, all of the panel, including myself here, if you're gay, you're gay. It doesn't matter to us. And we look at these situations sometimes and say, what's the big deal? Well, it is a big deal. It is a big deal for a lot of people, especially, I think, the gay community and gay athletes out there, that someone has finally stepped forward. And I think you will see more of this.
You know what I find kind of interesting? I think double standard's the wrong way to put it. We've had openly gay female athletes for years. Yeah. In different sports.
Is that funny?
But it's the male locker room, right?
Yeah, we're out of time, but it's certainly a topic that a lot of people will continue to discuss throughout today and in the weeks to come. And I'm interested to read the entire article. Fantastic. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.